Hey everybody, my name is Christine Jensen and I am an IBO here with Life Activated Brands. That stands for Independent Business Owner. I'm not really here in that capacity today though to talk to you about the business opportunity. I want to talk to you about my story. And so that starts out with a year ago, I was on home health care. I had basically no life. I had debilitating pain, brain fog, a ton of issues. And I will kind of go into what caused some of that here in a minute. I'm not really going to go into diagnoses, but I will kind of maybe splash in some info because what I want you to get out of this is this. I never did this for weight loss, so listen to the end so that you can decide for yourself if you relate to anything that I'm saying here and possibly do a little bit more research into this as a solution. It has literally changed my life. As you can see, I am in sunny Florida right now. I normally live in Northwest Wisconsin. I am traveling, and so I am coming to you living out of my van at the moment, trying to decide where I want to settle when I grow up, if I want to do a van life thing, if I want to rent a condo or what, because I now have choices again. So let's get started. So when I was a kid, I had spinal meningitis, which I got after a smallpox vaccine. That caused me to go deaf in my right ear, which caused a lifetime of antibiotics. As I got older, yeast infections, UTIs, all of that stuff, I never even would have to call for an appointment. I would just call and they would call the prescription in for me, whatever it was at the time. And so then we're going to just really fast forward to when I was like 40 some years old. I was diagnosed with a benign brain tumor. So I had gone in to see if I was a candidate for a cochlear implant because my hearing was getting worse. Like people were noticing, and I was noticing I wasn't able to talk on the phone. I wasn't able to use the two-way radio, and I worked for the DNR, which is the Department of Natural Resources for the state of Minnesota, in a park up on the North Shore Lake Superior where we didn't have cell phone service. So it was very important to be able to for safety for guests and visitors to be able to use a two-way radio, and I was not able to hear on it. So an elderly couple got lost. Anyways, that's a long story. So anyhow, when I went in to get the equipment to be able to hear better, they suggested a cochlear implant. So I had no speech recognition on my right side, and so they also suggested that I apply for long-term disability, because the recovery is known to be over a year, especially at my age then, which was like about 48. And so I did that. And then, of course, when the brain tumor diagnosis came in, bam, that was granted. But I had already basically lost everything. I was driving 700 miles. I had spent over 2 months in hospitals, hotels outside the hospital. I wasn't actually in the hospital. And so, yeah. And I lost everything. By 2015, they had also made me get a vaccine for pneumonia. So now, I'm not saying anything bad about vaccines, but what I am saying is this: I was very susceptible to reactions to drugs for some reason, and this was something that had been happening more frequently. And so I ended up with pneumonia, encephalitis. There was another drug that I was prescribed, not because my cholesterol was bad, my overall was like 135, but they didn't like the ratios, and so that actually had caused, I literally walked around like this in Mayo. I couldn't stretch out. People thought I had cerebral palsy and whatever, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't have it. And so anyways, that basically cost my life. By 2015, I was at nursing home level of care. They do a screening on you, and I was put on home health care. I just want to say this. I became a frequent flyer in the medical system. Every time I went, we had a diagnosis, we had an x-ray, we had some sort of a procedure ordered, and that just continued to go on and on. And so I was having reactions to medications, and so they weren't working. And so I had 29 doctors in all. I fired a few who didn't support me. I had many doctors tell me just to get over it, that this was my life and I should just accept it. I was actually even diagnosed with severe adjustment disorder because I fought it. And that basically says you're crazy, which added another $20,000 onto my home health care budget so I could be supervised at all times. And so anyways, in 2022, January, I finally begged my doctor and got in to see an allergist. And that allergist was a total fluke. I had been begging for 2 years. They wanted to send me to a dermatologist. My skin was all inflamed. I had inflammation so bad my legs looked like I had moon boots on. I had blood sugar issues. I was on 2 medications for that. They were supposed to cause the weight loss too. They weren't. They were just causing me to blow up. My kidney function was down to 72%. Just a whole lot of things, okay? And I'm not going to go into all of them, but what I am going to say is I now fully believe that there was a relationship between the poison that I was putting in my body and the sugar cravings and everything because it was bad bacteria. And so now that I have switched that over to good bacteria, I crave good things and my body does what it's supposed to and I'm literally melting. And actually the sun's kind of hot, so I kind of am melting. But anyways, so what I want to talk about is, so I started this program April. Well, first off, I tried the Moravita. I couldn't afford it. So I enrolled when they had a $1 enrollment thing, which is normally like $49 a year. It's like a Sam's Club membership, so you could get wholesale pricing. I enrolled on that $1 and I bought a bag of Moravita. And I drank that Moravita, and the first day I noticed I was really thirsty. I was drinking a lot and peeing a lot. And then I knew, that I was supposed to be keeping my feet up. I laid flat, and 4 days later, I was down 18 pounds of inflammation. I bought the rest of it. So I was on a fixed income, less than $1,200 a month. And I managed to put my life and myself first because I saw a difference and I saw that it was worth it. And I thought, holy cow. I told myself for 2 months that I couldn't do this. I couldn't afford it. And I'm going to tell you what, the life that I have right now is worth half of a car payment. Worth it. More than worth it. It's not covered. That allergist suggested a fecal microbiota transplant. So I watched 12 Zooms with this Melissa trying to figure out how to get $20,000 to buy somebody else's poop to put in me that wouldn't be covered by my Medicaid or my Medicare. And what I found then was there was a sleep thing. So I have had sleep apnea as well. I looked back through my sleep thing here on my watch or whatever. Just happened to do it the other night. I was getting 27 average hours of REM in 2021. In 2022, that went up into the hundreds. Now it's 187. So your body needs sleep in order to process toxins and all the gunk and actually fat too. So that is just one amazing thing. And then I'm going to really, really quick go over what I do. So I take the Activate in the morning and I take Moravita in the morning. And then in the evening, I take a sleep and I take a cleanse. And then what I do is I have a list of pre and probiotic foods. I actually have a salad recipe that I made up that my grandma used for years, but I made it to be pro and prebiotic by substituting apple cider vinegar instead of distilled and whatever. Anyways, I eat a half cup of that a day. And that gives me 3 to 4 of both. And then I just add that in and then I eat whatever the rest of the time. Now, no, I don't eat 6 pizzas a day. I was never eating 6 pizzas a day. And I do know calories because I have been counting calories because they had suggested that. And I had gone to dietitians and nutritionists and whatever else. So anyways, what I want to tell you is this. You're going to have to ask yourself, what is your life worth? This is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So anything that you try, if it doesn't work, you return it and you're done. And second of all, are you going to stop brushing your teeth? Are you just going to not brush your teeth someday? Are you going to stop washing your hair? Are you going to stop doing that? Take care of yourself and you will reap the benefits of that. And so I want to just say, do it consistently. Give it 5 to 6 months. My skin was completely bleeding, oozing, gross, and that is over with. So that's the only reason that I went. I didn't go for weight loss. That's why I went to the allergist, and that's what he suggested was this. And so have a great day. I hope you enjoyed my story, and please feel free to share it.